In the digital age, a person can vanish without a trace, yet their online presence lives on. Such was the case of Carrie Farver, who disappeared in 2012 but continued to send messages for years. As investigators would soon discover, this digital ghost wasn't Carrie at all, but someone far more sinister. At the center of this twisted tale was Dave Krupa, a man whose brief romantic entanglements would spark a chain of events beyond imagination. Dave had dated Shanna Golyar, a relationship that ended before he met Carrie Farver. Little did he know, the shadows of his past were about to collide with his present in a nightmarish fashion. On November 13, 2012, Carrie Farver vanished into thin air. The last confirmed sighting of her marked the beginning of a mystery that would baffle investigators for years. As Carrie's mother filed a missing persons report, a complex web of deception began to unfold. Beneath the surface of this disappearance lay a dark obsession, a stolen identity, and a digital phantom that would haunt the lives of those involved for years to come. As investigators peeled back the layers of Carrie's digital presence, they uncovered a chilling truth, a tangled web of obsession. At the heart of this dark tale was Shanna Golyar, a woman whose brief relationship with Dave Krupa had sparked an inferno of jealousy and desperation. Their romance, though short-lived, had left an indelible mark on Shanna's psyche. From the beginning, there were red flags that hinted at the storm brewing beneath her seemingly ordinary exterior. Dave had initially been drawn to Shanna's attentiveness, but it quickly became apparent that her affection bordered on obsession. She exhibited an intense clinginess, demanding every moment of his time and attention. When Dave attempted to prioritize his children, Shanna's resentment bubbled to the surface, revealing a possessiveness that would ultimately lead to their breakup. Little did Dave know, this rejection would set in motion a chain of events that would engulf his life in a nightmare of epic proportions. Shanna's obsession, far from fading with time, only grew more intense and malevolent. The disappearance of Carrie Farver, a woman Dave had briefly dated after Shanna, became the catalyst for a descent into madness that would span years. In the wake of Carrie's vanishing, Shanna launched a relentless campaign of harassment against both Dave and the missing woman. Hundreds of threatening messages and emails flooded their inboxes, each one dripping with rage and vitriol. These digital missives were not merely the product of a spurned lover's anger. They were the first threads in an intricate web of deception that Shanna was weaving. The psychological landscape of Shanna's mind was a treacherous terrain of jealousy and desperation. Her need to reclaim her relationship with Dave had morphed into something far more sinister, a compulsion to control every aspect of his life, even if it meant erasing another woman's existence. Shanna's impersonation of Carrie went beyond simple mimicry. It was a complete absorption of identity, a digital possession that allowed her to manipulate and terrorize at will. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Shanna's messages became increasingly bizarre and intimate. She commented on Dave's activities in real time, revealing a level of surveillance that sent chills down his spine. The line between reality and fiction blurred as Shanna crafted a digital version of Carrie that was both threatening and unnervingly familiar. The true extent of Shanna's deception began to come to light as investigators pieced together the timeline of messages and actions. What they uncovered was a masterclass in manipulation. Shanna had not only been impersonating Carrie to Dave, but had also been sending messages to Carrie's family and friends, maintaining the illusion that she was still alive and well. This elaborate charade extended beyond the digital realm. Shanna's obsession manifested in physical acts of vandalism and threats that kept Dave and his new girlfriend Liz in a constant state of fear. Each incident, each message, was another brushstroke in the twisted portrait Shanna was painting of a world where she remained the center of Dave's universe. Perhaps the most chilling aspect of Shanna's behavior was her ability to craft messages that captured Carrie's voice and personality with eerie accuracy. This skill allowed her to manipulate not only Dave but also Carrie's loved ones, who clung to the false hope that Carrie was somehow still in control of her own narrative. The reality, however, was far more grim. While Shanna reveled in her perceived control, fate was preparing to deal her a cruel hand. The unraveling facade. As the investigation into Carrie Farver's disappearance dragged on, a series of increasingly bizarre events began to unfold. In August 2013, Shanna Golyar's house erupted in flames, claiming the lives of her beloved pets. This tragic incident marked a disturbing escalation in the ongoing saga of harassment and stalking that had plagued those connected to Carrie's case. Golyar, ever the victim in her own narrative, wasted no time in pointing the finger at Amy Flora, Dave's ex-girlfriend, whom she accused of impersonating Carrie and orchestrating the relentless campaign of terror. The fire, however, was just the beginning. In a twist that seemed ripped from the pages of a thriller, Golyar reported being shot in the leg while walking alone in December 2015. Once again, she claimed Amy Flora was the culprit, spinning a tale of ambush and violence that further muddied the already murky waters of the investigation. These dramatic events served to reinforce Golyar's portrayal of herself as a victim, caught in the crosshairs of a vengeful rival. But as the smoke cleared and the dust settled, investigators found themselves grappling with a growing sense of unease. The pieces of the puzzle weren't fitting together as neatly as they should. Suspicions began to take root, whispers of doubt that would soon grow into a roar of certainty. What if Carrie Farver wasn't just missing, but gone for good? And what if the person behind the digital mask wasn't who they claimed to be? With these questions gnawing at their minds, detectives shifted their focus to the digital trail left in the wake of Carrie's disappearance. It was here, in the ones and zeros of the virtual world, that they would find the key to unlocking the truth. As they combed through countless messages, emails, and online activities, a pattern began to emerge. One that pointed not to Amy Flora, but to Shanna Golyar herself. The turning point came with the discovery of a bloody stain in Carrie's car. This grim find tested positive for Carrie's DNA, providing the first tangible link between Golyar and the missing woman. It was as if the truth, long suppressed, was finally bubbling to the surface, eager to be known. But it was in the digital realm where Golyar's carefully constructed facade truly began to crumble. Investigators uncovered a damning video on her phone, uploaded from her own IP address, which laid bare her role in the elaborate impersonation scheme. This digital smoking gun was just the tip of the iceberg. Further investigation revealed that Golyar had taken possession of Carrie's digital camera and camcorder shortly after her disappearance, painting a picture of premeditation that sent chills down the spines of even the most seasoned detectives. As they delved deeper into the digital abyss, investigators were struck by the sheer enormity of Golyar's deception. The impersonation of Carrie Farver was not a passing whim or a momentary lapse in judgment. It was a full-time obsession, consuming 40 to 50 hours of Golyar's week. The level of dedication was as impressive as it was disturbing, a testament to the depths of her fixation. Perhaps the most chilling piece of evidence came in the form of a single image, a human foot belonging to Carrie Farver, discovered on a memory card that Golyar had attempted to erase. This grisly trophy, hidden away in the depths of digital storage, spoke volumes about the true nature of Carrie's fate and Golyar's involvement in it. The grisly discovery sent shockwaves through the investigation, but Golyar's facade remained intact. Justice unveiled. As the digital breadcrumbs led investigators closer to the truth, the noose around Shanna Golyar's neck tightened. In 2016, the hammer of justice finally fell. Golyar found herself in handcuffs, facing charges that seemed pulled from a twisted crime novel: first-degree murder and second-degree arson. The woman who had spent years crafting an intricate web of lies now stood accused of the very crime she had vehemently denied. The trial that followed was a testament to the power of digital forensics and old-fashioned detective work. Prosecutors presented a staggering 43 pieces of evidence, each one another nail in the coffin of Golyar's innocence. The courtroom buzzed with tension as the full extent of her deception came to light. Digital communications, meticulously crafted to mimic Carrie Farver's voice, were laid bare before the jury. Each message, each email, stood as a silent witness to Golyar's obsession and cunning. But it wasn't just the digital realm that condemned her. Physical evidence, long hidden, now told its grim tale. The bloody stain found in Carrie's car, a macabre remnant of the violence that had silenced her forever, matched her DNA. This tangible link between Golyar and her victim was impossible to ignore, a stark reminder of the real-world consequences of her digital deceptions. As the trial progressed, the emotional toll on Carrie's family became painfully apparent. They sat in the courtroom day after day, reliving the nightmare that had consumed their lives for years. The realization that their hopes, their prayers for Carrie's safe return had been cruelly manipulated by Golyar's impersonation was a fresh wound that cut deep. Every revelation was a reminder of the life stolen from them, of the milestones Carrie would never see, of the void left in their hearts. Golyar's defense team fought back, arguing that despite the mountain of circumstantial evidence, there was no eyewitness to directly tie their client to Carrie's murder. They painted a picture of a flawed investigation, suggesting that the real killer might still be at large. But as the prosecution methodically presented their case, the defense's arguments began to sound hollow. Desperate attempts to cast doubt on what seemed increasingly obvious. Throughout the proceedings, Golyar maintained her composure, her face a mask of innocence. Even as the evidence piled up against her, she clung to her story, insisting that she was merely another victim in this twisted tale. But the jury saw through her performance. The digital footprints she had left behind spoke louder than any protestation of innocence. In the end, the verdict was swift and decisive. Shanna Golyar was found guilty on all counts. The courtroom erupted in a mix of emotions: relief, anger, and a profound sadness for the lives forever altered by her actions. As Judge Timothy Burns prepared to deliver his sentence, the weight of the moment hung heavy in the air. The judge's words were measured but firm. He spoke of the extensive damage caused by Golyar's actions, the lives shattered, the trust broken. For the murder of Carrie Farver, he sentenced Golyar to life in prison. An additional 18 to 20 years were added for the arson charge, a fitting punishment for a woman whose obsession had consumed not only her victim's life, but also her own. Digital shadows. The case of Shanna Golyar serves as a chilling reminder of the dark potential lurking within the digital realm. Tony Carver, a digital forensic expert, spent thousands of hours unraveling the intricate web of deception woven by Golyar. Her actions, amounting to over 15,000 messages across 3 years, left an indelible mark on Carrie's family, who lived in a state of suspended anguish. The ease with which Golyar created and maintained a false identity highlights the complexities of truth and identity in our interconnected world. As the prosecutor poignantly stated, what some people are capable of has always confounded and mystified the court. This case stands as a stark warning about the potential dangers lurking in online interactions, where reality and deception often blur into a nightmarish landscape of manipulation and harm.